There's some things I really can't stand.
Like what?
Well, I don't like rap, because the voice is always the same.
In the world of alternative rock, few artists divide opinion as sharply as Morrissey.
Bless you. I love you. Thank you.
The former Smiths frontman has never been shy about speaking his mind, especially when it comes to other musicians.
At least from a distance, look as if you know what you're doing. And I can.
With his razor-sharp tongue and uncompromising honesty, Morrissey built a reputation not just for haunting lyrics and unforgettable melodies, but also for verbal attacks that could slice through an artist's career.
Lord knows it would be the first time.
More than just a singer, he became notorious as a cultural assassin, firing off cutting remarks in interviews, press conferences, and even live shows. No musician was truly safe. Over decades, Morrissey turned conversation into combat, delivering blows that left reputations shaken and rivalries carved into music history. These weren't playful digs between peers. They were calculated, often merciless strikes meant to wound and humiliate. What you're about to hear are 6 of the most brutal feuds, legendary confrontations that proved Morrissey's words could be just as powerful and far more dangerous than any weapon. So, let's count them down. 6. Damon Albarn. Our list begins with a bitter Britpop showdown. Damon Albarn, the creative heart behind Blur, became a prime target when Morrissey allegedly decided Albarn represented everything fake about British alternative music.
I think it's perhaps the most least attractive track. I don't know, I can't explain it. It just didn't really strike me that much.
Back in the mid-90s, Blur were hailed as flag bearers of authentic English culture. But Morrissey, who had spent years writing working-class anthems, reportedly saw Albarn as a privileged art school kid pretending to be a common man. Music journalists say Morrissey hated the idea of Albarn acting poor for credibility. To him, Damon was performing hardship he had never truly lived. The frustration only grew as Blur received praise for innovations Morrissey believed the Smiths had pioneered years earlier. He even described Blur's success as artistic theft wrapped in a tribute. 5. Tom York. At number 5, we find a clash of 2 masters of misery. Morrissey versus Radiohead's enigmatic frontman, Tom York.
I've had very few experiences, but they have been bad, yes, and they were a very long time ago. And it's not something that I would like to.
This wasn't just rivalry. It was a philosophical fight over how to express human despair through music. When Radiohead rose to global fame in the late 90s with OK Computer and their experimental soundscapes, critics began drawing comparisons between York's darkness and Morrissey's. But Morrissey, who had spent his career giving poetic voice to pain, reportedly dismissed Radiohead's sound as cold, academic, and detached. According to industry insiders, Morrissey felt York was intellectualizing sadness rather than living it. Where he wrote wit-laced laments from real scars, York delivered puzzles wrapped in computers and effects. Morrissey allegedly scoffed that Radiohead made depression sound like a lecture instead of real human anguish. 4. Madonna. Sliding into number 4 is one of Morrissey's most venomous targets. The queen of pop herself, Madonna.
Female pop icon, if you like. I mean, what could follow Madonna in that sense?
From the moment she began reinventing herself in the 1980s, Morrissey reportedly saw her as the ultimate symbol of everything wrong with commercialized music. While he championed authenticity and vulnerability, Madonna was mastering the art of transformation for profit. Her use of sexuality and shock tactics for headlines infuriated him. He even accused her of prostituting art for attention. The feud deepened when Madonna borrowed elements from underground and alternative music, blending them into her pop empire. Morrissey allegedly fumed that she was stealing credibility from counterculture while giving nothing back. To him, Madonna wasn't rebellion. She was marketing dressed up as art. 3. Ian Brown. Now, let's head back to Manchester for number 3. Morrissey versus Ian Brown of the Stone Roses.
I don't really care what people think. I really don't. Doesn't affect me. And I'm not hiding anything.
This feud wasn't just about music. It was about ownership of their city's soul. When the Stone Roses exploded with their psychedelic dance rock sound, Morrissey had already made Manchester famous through the Smiths' poetic indie anthems. But as Brown's band gained international acclaim, Morrissey reportedly felt his legacy was being stolen. To him, Ian Brown wasn't innovating. He was riding a cultural wave that cheapened everything the Smiths had stood for. What should have been mutual respect turned into a Cold War for Manchester's crown, one that Morrissey never seemed willing to forgive. 2. Liam Gallagher. Coming in at number 2 is a feud that could only come out of Manchester. Morrissey versus Oasis frontman Liam Gallagher.
Being recalled, it could have killed 80 million Americans.
This wasn't just rivalry. This was generational warfare. Sophisticated artistry clashing with brash rock and roll swagger. When Oasis stormed the mid-90s with anthems and arrogance, Liam Gallagher crowned himself the king of Manchester music. To Morrissey, it was pure blasphemy. He despised Liam's dismissive attitude toward the Smiths and saw Oasis as proof that music was trading intelligence for empty. Bravado, Morrissey reportedly described them as loud noise for people who mistake volume for passion. Liam, of course, thrived on the chaos, throwing insults and basking in controversy. But to Morrissey, Gallagher wasn't rebellion. He was immaturity dressed up as genius. 1. Bob Geldof.
Stop in the playground now. She wants to play with the toys around.
Finally, at number 1, we reach Morrissey's most explosive feud. His battle with Bob Geldof, the man behind Band Aid and Live Aid.
Erotic is. I don't know what I've never heard anybody say heteroerotic. So I don't know what homoerotic means.
Unlike the others, this wasn't just a music clash. It was a war of ideology. When Geldof organized charity singles like Do They Know It's Christmas, Morrissey refused to play along. He believed music should confront social issues through art, not be diluted into feel-good sing-alongs. To him, celebrity charity was exploitation disguised as compassion. Morrissey went as far as accusing Geldof of using other people's suffering to polish his own saintly image. Geldof brushed off the insults, continuing his humanitarian efforts, but Morrissey never forgave what he saw as the commercialization of human tragedy. And there you have it, 6 brutal takedowns from one of music's sharpest tongues. Each feud a reminder that Morrissey's voice could wound just as deeply as it could inspire. Which of these clashes shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, this is the Backstage Eyes. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay tuned for more untold battles and hidden truths